Women must be given more leadership positions from the homes to the upper echelons of society. The program's manager of Women Radio 91.7, Esther Alaribe, made this known during the rounding off event of Women's Voice and Leadership Nigeria project, noting that although Nigeria is a patriarchal society, Women Radio continues to use its platform to promote programs that raise awareness for more collaboration, not competition from men. About 2.7 million children remain unvaccinated and under-vaccinated, according to the World Health Organization and United Nations Children Fund, on Monday, 15 July 2024. According to the UNICEF Executive Director, Catherine Roussel, government, partners, and local leaders must invest in primary healthcare and community workers to ensure every child gets vaccinated and that overall healthcare is strengthened. Women of Oba, Egbema, Njoni local government area of River State have called on the government of the state to create empowerment opportunities for women so as to stall further involvement in illicit activities. A 15-year-old boy has been arrested for stabbing a teenage girl in the back after texting friends that she was going to die, and has been charged for attempted murder, possession of a bladed article in a public place, and perverting the cause of justice. And finally, in sports, 6 Afghan athletes, including 3 women, are set to head to Paris this year ahead of the Paris 2024 Olympics, despite the Taliban's ban on women and girls participating in sports since it took over the country. Sadly, today marks 10 years and 91 days since our Chibok girls were captured, and 6 years and 148 days since the abduction of Leah Sharibu, the Dapchi girl. Women Radio 91.7 calls for the safe release of all our girls still in captivity. Women Radio 91.7 demands justice from the government for victims and survivors of sexual abuse and rape. If you have been sexually abused, please contact a sexual assault referral center near you. I am Miracle Phillip. Up next is Panorama. Good morning.
We are Nigeria's first female-centric radio station for women and families. WFM 91.7.
Trendybeats.com.
Step aside before the game changer. Under the good party, I put that go. I'm not a bomb and you. Who the father? Oh, I never see. Oh, never see. Oh, I never see. Oh, never see. Every day. Give it. One man, I shall look good. You can let go every day. You know they can't last you. As a blue one on the lane. One in Manabia. I can go DJ.
WFM 91.7.
Put on your church shoes, little sister, because we're about to blast off.
What is it you're trying to say?
It's time to buckle up, because we're in the driver's seat.
Women Radio 91.7.
I feel that there's some sort of lack of professionalism in this because we're talking about 100 lives.
Government has also put in place a structure to make it look like what they have in mind.
How do we stop crime in the society? Because at the end of the day, if a man cannot provide for his wife anymore, he looks for other means. Because
We should arrest Nigeria from
This is Panorama, Mondays through Fridays from 9 to 5 a.m.
And WFM 91.7 will bring you ladies from across Nigeria's political zones, dissecting, discussing, and disagreeing on topical issues of the day. You too can join the conversation by tweeting us at WFM 917 with the hashtag Panorama. WFM 91.7, the voice of women.
Well, welcome to another beautiful episode of Panorama right here on Your Women Radio 91.7. I'm very happy that we get to be together yet again for another day. Of course, it is Tuesday, the 16th day of July 2024. How are you doing today? How is the weather treating you? It's quite cloudy and, it's just showing signs of rain. Definitely is going to fall. Or maybe it's falling where you are. Right here in Ariko, it's not. It was drizzling actually earlier in the day, but right now it's not falling yet. Well, I'm certain that maybe by the time I come out of the studio, it's going to be something different. But then it doesn't stop us from serving you with the flow. And now we are in for another time of having the discussions that matter and that affect us as a people and also as a nation. My name is Miracle Phillip. 8 minutes after 9 it is, and yes, Panorama is a program where ladies from different geopolitical zones come together to discuss, dissect, disagree on topical conversations that affect us in our societies. We've got the ladies already, and we're going to get into the discussion in Ernest. Yes, I may not have surprised you, or maybe it did, but all over the internet, there are conversations around the fact that the Nigerian troops are out to spread their clothes on the floor. Yeah, for President Tinubu, as the federal government reportedly donates trucks of rice to 36 states and FCT. Are you ready to get your own truck of rice in your own state? We'll be talking about that. And also the Oni of Ife reportedly bans a market association to control food prices. Caps Pepe. Oh yes, the same Pepe that has become like gold at 200 naira. Will there be some level of compliance with that particular one? Well, we'll get talking right here on Panorama. And yes, so we'll start by having to get to hear from our ladies who are already right here with us in the building, but of course online. Well, good morning to you, Buki Femi Ajala. It's always a pleasure having you right here on Panorama. Good morning, Buki. Oh my, we're having difficulties hearing you clearly.
Yeah.
All right, we can hear you, but unfortunately it seems like it's breaking. May I know if you can hear me loud and clear? Hi, Buki. All right, so we're trying to connect with Buki this morning on Panorama and also with ladies as well. We'll see how we can rectify that from our end. But don't forget that you can react to any of the conversations that we're going to be having this morning via our phone lines. It is 07000 917 917. You can equally drop a text message or a WhatsApp message to 0703 1756537. That's the phone line to actually reach us on. But don't also forget that we're having our ladies join us, Ibina Bo Dixon, as well as Buki Femi Ajala. And we're going to have our discussions as always. I will be here navigating the discussions, like, communicating as we always do and as is custom today. So we'll just get connected with our ladies. And don't forget, we've actually raised concerns about the stories that we're going to be looking at this morning. Yes, I made mention of the fact that the Oni of Ife has reportedly banned market associations to control food prices, also putting pepper at a cap price of 200 naira. Some people will be like, when is this development going to come to Lagos, please? And maybe it should be instituted in every other part of, every other part of the country. But at the end of the day, you'd still ask the question of how does really this help? All right. Glad to have you back, Buki. I'm so glad that we're connecting back with you as well.
Yes, can you hear me as well?
Yes, we can hear you loud and clear.
Fantastic. Yeah. Good morning. Yeah. To all our Panorama family. And morning, Ibinabo. We are just station.
You were just without me.
We are just
It's all good. Welcome back, Buki. And good morning to you, Ibina Dixon.
Yeah, good morning, Miracle Philip. Good morning, Buki. Effie. Good morning to all our valued listeners. It is a pleasure to be on Panorama. Thank you.
I like the sound of that. All right. So let's get into our discussion in earnest, because we're going to have to dissect all of them piece by piece. And yes, don't forget, you as well, you can be part of it. 07000 917 917, or you can drop an SMS or a WhatsApp message to 0703 175 6537. Don't say I didn't pick your call. As long as you call in, I definitely will pick it. Okay, so we'll start with this. This here says Nigerians troop out to spread their clothes on the floor for President Tinubu as federal government reportedly donates trucks of rice to 36 states and FCT. Yes, the federal government has donated 20 trucks of rice to the 36 state governors and the Federal Capital Territory for onward distribution to Nigerians. This is all from Daily Trust. Addressing the State House reporters after the Federal Executive Council meeting on Monday, Minister of Information and National Orientation, Mohammed Idris, said the rice is for the most vulnerable Nigerians. He also said the Tinubu administration is committed to making sure that Nigerians have food on their table. Okay. They said it's for vulnerable Nigerians. And one would actually wonder, what class of people do they term as vulnerable Nigerians? Well, first off, let me ask Ibinabo, is this a step in the right direction in a time like this?
Thank you very much, Miracle. Yes, the government is trying to alleviate the pains, the frustration people are facing, and as much as they are doing it with all, how do I put it now? With good intents. But I'm part of the system, so I understand and I do a lot of things. Let me paint a picture here. What the government is doing is likened to this. Now, I want someone to understand. I'm speaking my native dialect, that is Calabari. And there is someone who understands Calabari, but does not understand Queen's English. And the person has to translate whatever I've said in Pidgin to someone who will in turn translate it in Queen's English to the now how many are we on the queue now? Me, the person that speaks Pidgin, the person that speaks Queen's English, and now the final recipient who wants to get the information. Now I say something in Calabari. the person who understands Calabari interprets it in pidgin to the one who speaks in Queen's English. And the one who speaks in Queen's English or who understands Queen's English can now relay the information to the final person who probably need to know something about Calabari people. By the time I say something and that person interprets in pidgin and the other person now interprets to, in Queen's English, the value, the full content of what I've said would have been reduced. So that's exactly what is going on with what government is giving to the most vulnerable, the indigents in the community. When the government would, okay, these are truckloads of grains, you are sending them down to the states. Take it or leave it. There will be some diversions of these trucks. Now, eventually, some of these trucks get to the state. From the states down to the local government, there will be more diversion. From the local government down to the communities through various organizations, the area CDCs, the CDAs, and so on and so forth. The same story. So by the time these food items are getting to the most vulnerable or the indigents, we are talking about something else. Because I've always wondered why in a community of maybe over 1,000 people, they cannot have just 2 or 3 indigents. They have more. From what I have gone to find out. From my findings, we have more indigents. But out of, let's say, out of every 50 indigents, only 2 or 3 will get these food items. And then we're looking at the content, the quantity that will be given. So for me, as laudable as these efforts we've seen on the part of the government, it is not able to address the desired recipients or beneficiaries of these food items. That is a huge problem. It is huge. Because I recall that there was a time, it wasn't even about the whole country now, we're talking about a part of the country when Boko Haram was, the insurgency in the northeast was at its peak. There were so many people displaced from their homes, and they were living in various camps. And trucks of food items were being, discharged to various IDPs, IDP camps. And in the midst of all of this, there were stories about some of the people appointed to see to the distribution of these food items who were diverting some of these trucks to their personal corners, whether they are offices, whether they are homes or wherever. So you cannot imagine what is happening when these are coming from the federal government. The federal government will do what they want to do with good intention. The state government will do what they want to do in good intention. But the people who are to distribute these food items, they do a lot of things. And that is a problem. So my advice here is, as much as the government is trying to, reach out to the most vulnerable, to the indigents in our society, they should, in tandem, begin to look at how to solve the root cause of this issue. Because everything they are doing, the impact is not properly felt. It is almost like they are doing nothing. And it is painful. If you take a community like Arepo, how many indigents can the government reach in Arepo? Take a community like Adopinowodi as a whole. How many indigents can the government reach and feed? Whether from the federal level or the state level. So these are very pertinent issues that should be looked into. The government should begin to look at how they are going to, aggressively, attack this hunger. Yes, we have been advised to farm in our backyards. Now there are various ways, there are smart ways to farm and everything. But how do we solve the issues? Because we cannot depend on vegetables alone. When will you plant your yam? When will you harvest? The time between the planting and the harvesting, what happens to you? Also, when we distribute some food items, there are other things. Take, for instance, somebody who has not eaten. You have given rice. Have we put into consideration the cost of kerosene, the cost of cooking gas? Have we factored in the cost of other items like tomato, pepper, and all of that? So there are so many issues. So for me, I feel government, for a drastic situation, drastic measures should be taken. So the government should just dive into aggressive farming. And there are other issues that are affecting the high cost of staple food in the market. There are we have issues. We have the known issues that we already understand the issues affecting us. We're talking about poor preservation, poor roads, the high cost of transportation, how some agents or some security agents will be on the roads instead of looking out to secure the people. They are extorting them. Some of them do, not all of them, and so on and so forth. Right. The market dynamics. So we have to look into one major issue that is present, and that is the bandwagon of exportation of staple food. That is a huge problem. If not addressed, we can't get out of this quagmire we are in. All right. The exports, whatever department or whatever, has to look into it. There is a high level of indiscriminate exportation of our staple food. And if it is not checked, and we are now faced with monoculture in agriculture, big farmers are more interested in planting the most demanded food items internationally. So what happens to us locally? Miracle. The issues are hydra-headed, and we need immediate solution to this problem. We can solve it within a year if the government is ready to solve it. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ibinabo, for your thoughts this morning. You said we can solve these problems if the government is ready to look into this. Now, I'll come to you, Buki. Perhaps you have a different perspective to this conversation. I know for one, people would be most concerned with, it's like the government is just looking for ways to expel money. So tomorrow you ask them, oh, where did you put in this money? Oh, I bought some bag of rice and I decided to disburse them to, states. And then people would be wondering exactly what happened. We saw what happened, I think, around the COVID-19 period and after. There were people who invaded some warehouses to see that some of these palliatives were not even disbursed to the people. And then we talk about giving these to vulnerable Nigerians. And the question now is, do you have a social register to say these are the people in each of the wards, the districts that will get this bag of rice or these bags of rice or any quantity of rice that is being disbursed from the federal mite? Okay.
Okay, so these things are shrouded in secrecy, and that is why we are not so clear. If we have a social register, but how authentic is the social register? I remember coming up here, I think that was maybe 2 or 3 months ago. I can't remember that there was a program that I attended, and there was somebody from the Ministry of Social, blah, 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 Poverty Alleviation, and blah, blah, blah. I came to represent the minister, and I walked up to her table because our tables were closed, just to find out, because she mentioned something about the social register. So I just went to find out from her how the names on that social register, got into the register. So what was the criteria and how did they go about it? He was very open to say the register they are using as of that day, right, was compiled from the states. So it was a compilation from the state. But however, they are aware that, there could be post-Nigerians, and all that in that. So what they are also doing now is that they are now going back to the states and telling the state what to do, in terms of how to qualify who gets into the social register. So I think there's a reform going on. I just pray that it gets to the local government, because, to be honest, this compilation should actually be done at the local government. So from the local government, maybe we should even say the wards, because there is smaller units of the wards. They are the ones that know the people who is poor and who needs all these things, And they can actually go their technology. They can actually ask people, to submit. It's not an issue of using, what do you call it, smartphones, by the use of the future phones, it's just a short code, and let people register. But there was something that I know Lagos State did when they were doing the code fund or something. It was a World Bank assisted project. The women for the project, because I was involved in training, the women that took the project actually said people came to them, to their houses. So it was an issue of people going from one house to another house to assist. Understand? And that was joyful for me, because when you see the women themselves, you know that they actually did the good job. Because these were people who needed a little bit of grant to buy freezer, to buy grinding pepper machine, and all that. You could see that, yes, they actually did. And that was because they did it house by house, and they had their criteria for assessment. So what am I saying in this is that social register, there has to be a way. It's clear to everybody who is eligible to be in that. What exactly are you using? What are the indices that you are using? If care is not taken, our politics is still at the rudiment stage. You just find out that the people in there are party members. That's the real thing. That they're the party members. Because you're loyal, you have just submit your name and the people to the social register. So I just pray that the people who are there now, they mean well for Nigeria. We don't know where these things have gone. To be honest, we really do not know. But I believe they can distribute in such a way that it's meaningful. Let somebody collect a bag, because if at the end of the day we are dividing it into one thing, that is not it. If you are giving palliative, let it be palliative. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Buki, for your take this morning on the conversation. But we'll get to also hear from you right now. It is 9:30 on your Women Radio 91.7, 07000 917 917, or you can drop an SMS or a WhatsApp message to 0703 175 6537. Ibn, you want to say something to buttress your point further?
Yes, I just want to add to area what Booking mentioned.
Mm.
You know, we are talking about National Social Register, and I mean, this is supposed to be an information about potential beneficiaries. You know, when it comes to issues like this, and I recall that in the community where I live, there was a meeting, and there were government officials who made demands of, the information of those perceived to be indigents in the community. And to the best of my knowledge, I think a list was given to them. And up till now, I don't think that there had been any form of visitation to those people. So what I'm thinking is, who am I supposed to heap the blame on? Am I heaping the blame on the government officials who came into the community? Am I heaping the blame on the commissioner, for that particular ministry? Or am I heaping the blame on the governor, who is not doing what he or she is supposed to do? Because in fairness, they actually came and demanded for names. And when you have situation like this, because you don't know everybody, so you have to deal, because the CDAs are the smallest unit in a community, and the CDAs put together will form a CDC. So the CDAs have their leaders, their chairmen. And from this person, information was taken. Please, in your CDA, who are the most vulnerable? And the names, telephone numbers, I mean, the details of these ones were given. And these lists were given to the government officials. So whatever they are doing with this information is what we don't understand. Maybe, because even though we are claiming to be digital, we are mostly analog in all that we do when it comes to issues like this. So I want to believe that they are working, but because of the mode of work, so it is bringing a bit of a delay. Otherwise, it is as simple as that. The community has been, broken down to bits in terms of CDAs. So it will be easy for every state government to reach the indigents of every community via the CDAs, through the CDCs. So even the world is even bigger than the CDC. So if the government can go back to all those information they have been given or demand for this information from their officials, I think they will have, that could make up, a reasonable national social register. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ibinabo, for your take this morning. Well, if you've just tuned in, this is Women Radio 91.7. Currently, it is 26 minutes to 10. And this is Panorama, a program where ladies from different geopolitical zones come together to discuss, dissect, disagree on topical conversations. My name is Miracle Philip, and we have with us, of course, Buki Femi Ajala, as well as Ibinabo Dixon. We'll get into our next conversation right now, and this one is bordering on exactly what went down, what the instruction that was given by the Oni of Ife. Now, he's reportedly banned market associations to control food prices, caps pepper at 200 naira. The Oni of Ife, Oba Eniton Ogunwosi, has threatened to banish any trader, market men or women who sell food items and other essential commodities beyond the reach of the common people in his domain. This move by the palace is part of its means of addressing the skyrocketing hike in prices of food and commodities. The traditional ruler banned market associations and unions from fixing prices of food items and other commodities and also coercing members to sell at particular rates. He warned that anyone caught instigating the hiking of prices of goods risked outright banishment from Ile-Ife. The monarch, while addressing all market associations and unions in the Asian town through his chiefs, announced the cancellation of all market associations, saying that traders are free to sell at their own prices. The chiefs in a video said that in the name of the Oni of Ife and the 16 chiefs, the market heads of Ile-Ife should go and inform all market men and women in Ile-Ife that starting from yesterday, KPSC has cancelled anything called market associations. Anyone who threatens or forces anyone to sell their foodstuff or goods at a particular price will be dealt with, and everyone should sell at their own price. Okay, so I'm looking at this, and I'll start with you, Buki. First off, one would say, okay, this is actually good. I mean, especially for some food prices that are, way out of the reach of the average Nigerian to buy. In fact, it's no longer a conversation about who is the average Nigerian now. It's about all Nigerians finding the cost of foodstuff really expensive. And now pegging the price of pepper, which when you go to the market these days, they tell you there's no pepper below 500 naira or even 1,000 naira. But we had someone earlier who talked about how he bought pepper for 7,000 naira and how the food was just finished just like that. Now, he's pegging these prices, removing the market associations. Do you think it's a bit of a disregard to the common realities already on ground that these marketers are finding it hard to even make profit out of what they are selling? Talk more of even having the capital to get these products to sell to Nigerians in the first place. Okay.
Okay, so this is what I would say. It might be a bit difficult for me to take a position. It might be because we don't know the underground work.
Okay.
I would assume, for him to have come out like that, he's an educated person. We'd expect that he has done his findings, he has done the calculation, he has been able to identify where most of the market women get their produce from. Is it that it's grown in Ife, or is it coming from us? Okay. I want to believe that you have done all that. I mean, I want to believe he would have done all that. But if he has not done all that and he just uses his better power, then I think he's wrong. But like I said, it's too early for us to come. For me personally, I think we should just let it. We want to watch. It will be good for us to what will happen this week. If it's okay for the market women, you will see that they will flow with it.
Okay.
But if it's not, I want to believe that they will have a representation, because by the council of the chiefs, you always have a woman representation there. You have the Lord there. Even if he says there's no longer market association or whatever it is, I think it's because of probably the perceived idea that the market women, the associations just sit down today and say, today, everybody, this is what we're going to sell. It happens, honest. But it's just, this is what we're going to sell. So even if you go anywhere, they will say, that is it. Either they're making 100% profit or whatever it is, I mean, we do not know. But I want to believe that if they try it and it's not working and they're making losses, just the market women. They know how to do it. All of them will just go to the other's fathers and say they want to have a meeting with the other. You understand? So let's observe. I hope that we'll be able to revisit this in the next 1 week, to know if it's working or it's not working. If it's working, then that means that the market women are making a whole lot of profit, which I really doubt. I really doubt. I think there will be a way of coming back to adjust. But I also agree in a way that there has to be some little bit of price stability right now, but that is when you have considered all costs, particularly transport costs.
Okay.
The main. If I mean, yeah, because it's a whole lot of transaction cost that is in between the farm and when it gets, to the market. Yeah, so there's a whole lot of cost, hidden cost, if you can say that. Yeah, so that's it. So for me, let's just watch and see if this works and if it doesn't work. Yeah, but because of the way it is, everybody believes that the only is next to God. His voice carry weight. But let's see. I'm willing to see the outcome of this. Honestly, it's an exciting project for me.
Okay. Thank you very much, Buki. Well, you can also get to react to this conversation. Do you align with Buki? Let's get to hear from you. 7,917,917. 07000917917, or you can drop an SMS or a WhatsApp message to 0703-175-6537. The Oni of Ife reportedly bans market associations to control food prices, caps pepper at 200 naira. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning. What's your name and where are you calling from?
My name is Mr. Julius.
All right, Mr. Julius, where are you calling from?
I'm calling from Songo.
All right, you're welcome.
Yeah. I really appreciate the programs right from morning time when I'm listening to you. I just pray that God will continue to protect you guys and your analysis.
Thank you very much.
So, based on what is happening in the country and this issue that the president will be issuing out this palliative of the thing. Yeah, it's a good idea, it's a good step. But to me, my personal opinion is that allowing how do they call them, the farmers to farm, and that would be the best option, and that would be the best way for food to be in abundance in the country. Because it's a bit of sharing of food. Definitely, this palliative will never go down to the rightful people. It's not possible. According to the Nigerian mentality, those in authority, they will divert it to their supporters, to their party supporters. That is the reality of it. So, making a way for farmers to go back to farm, there will be enough food for everybody, both the rich and the poor, to eat well. So, but this one they are doing is just to encourage their supporters for their next election.
All right, thank you very much, Julius. All the way from Shangota says it's all about just trying to garner more support now ahead of 2027 elections. Okay, so let me get to hear from even more people. 07000917917, or you can drop an SMS on 0703-175-6537. He says that it's better that we have, I believe you're pointing towards clearing the insecurity situation in the country so that farmers can, go to the farms and, continue about their activities, and then we have more surplus of food in the market. But then we started this conversation and we'll continue now with Ibinabo Dixon. Let me get your take on this order by the Oni of Ife.
Okay, thank you very much, Miracle. What do I say? For me, because I'm thinking about other things, I'm already linking it to other aspects of the economy. So I want to say it is commendable for me because the message and caution cut across, other areas other than farm produce. I feel that our government at various layers should take a cue from this. Now, he made mention of associations. And to be honest, to an extent, there is there are ways in which these associations affect the price of commodities. Let me digress a bit.
Okay.
Now, there is a guy who is a mechanical engineer, so to say, and he's into repairing and servicing generators. So I engaged him some time ago, so many years ago. Many years, that is about 4 or 5 years ago. And we got talking, and he said, Ma, that do you know that in our association, sometimes they will lay curses on us for charging less than expected. Because in this association, they make contributions. So when you're not able to contribute because you don't have enough money, then they begin to blame you that it is because you are charging less. You are trying to be Mr. Nice to your customers. Therefore, you cannot put anything into the purse of the association. And I've not verified what he said, but I mean, he had no reason to tell me lies because he wasn't even charging exorbitantly as his contemporaries would. And we have other associations, Association of Fashion Designers, Association of Ibn Dixon, Association of Miracle Philip, Association of and so on and so forth. And they have executive members who would give them, who would instruct them on what to do, even with their own businesses. The same thing happens to transportation. If you are going to a place, maybe in the morning there was no traffic much on the road, no gridlock, nothing, and the journey usually will have cost you to and fro. Maybe you are going, it will cost you 500 naira, you are coming the same amount. And you have kept your 500 naira in one corner of your purse. Getting to the bus stop, because of whatever reason on the road, maybe there is a bit of traffic and all of that, you will see the admirals are the ones that are calling because the passengers to come on board the vehicle. And they will tell you, maybe they will say, this place and this place, 800 naira. You wonder why? Because there's an amount of money that these commercial bus drivers pay at these various terminals. So they would immediately increase what they are going to collect from the drivers. So for the drivers to be able to pay and not grumble, they themselves will hike the cost of transportation, the fare. So if this could happen, then it is possible it is happening in the marketplaces. And for me, I just want the government to take a cue from here. That, okay, this Oba has come out to say this. So let's begin to look at other ways we can come into the market and address the dynamics of the market and how it is affecting the end user or the consumer. Because, you see, there are some points worthy of note, if I must tell you. We need to appreciate the fact that hunger in the land could be attributed to bad management of the food, agri-food chain. Now, we already know the issues about insecurity, we know the issues about bad roads, of course, the activities of the market associations, Biologists and Babalogists and all of that. But there is, like I mentioned earlier in our first talking point, there is something that the government must begin to look into. Because a lot of people have gone into food exportation. And worse still, these are staple foods. And they need just a little pressure from local marketers to sell us. We're not ignorant of the dynamics of the market of demand and supply. Yes, when there is high demand, it will force the price of that particular commodity to go up and everything. But people are exporting a lot, and there is monoculture in the agri sector now. Farmers would rather plant the food items that are most sought after internationally, like I said earlier. And this race for exportation is not being properly checked. Everybody, I ask people this way, now I'm exporting food now. You ask this person, I'm into exportation of food items now. So, to whose detriment? We are all suffering from it. So, it has become part of our problems. We are exporting cassava. So, we don't have enough cassava in the marketplaces to be transformed into gari. We don't have enough palm oil fruits or palm fruits, or what do they call it, to have enough palm oil. Even those who are making palm oil are now exporting the palm oil. So we don't have enough in the market. I know the demand and supply pool. You know what it will do to the prices of commodities in the market. So for me, I want to say that the statement from the Oni of Ife should be a key to our government, that we need to really sit down and look into the issues that are prevalent in our community, that are affecting, it is eating deep into our political power. So they need to look into it. It's a call. It's a huge reminder that the government must do something about this. And it is a culture that is so terrible with Nigerians. Even the Nigerian government is even guilty. We are an oil-producing nation. But we continue to export our crude oil to import petroleum products, byproducts. Why? We have 3 refineries that are grounded. And in all of this, we have workers in these refineries where there's no production, but they are being paid salaries. So the problem, Miracle, is hydra-headed, and no individual can solve it. It is the responsibility of the government to solve these problems. Nigerians are suffering. Yes, inflation has always been in. If there's no inflation, it shouldn't be in the dictionary. What does not exist in the life of a human being? You can't find it. You can't look for the meaning, because nobody's even thinking about it.
Right.
So it has always been there. But let us look at the percentage of it and how many people have been affected in this time and season. So we should not deceive ourselves by saying it has always been like that. People have always complained about hunger. Yes. But are we looking at the percentage of people who are falling into this category? Let's be honest with ourselves, please. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ibinabo, for your take this morning. I'll take this call as we wrap up in 1 minute. Hello, good morning. Hello, good morning. All right, we missed this call. But then, we'll continue to have these conversations right here on Panorama, continue to bring forward all of these topical issues. And just like Ibinabo says, though they are hydra-headed, we will always ensure that we hold our leaders accountable to whatever decisions that they make and whatever pronouncements that they make out there to the public. Yes, we're going through a tough time, and the last thing we want are situations that get only worse for us. I think I'll take this call and see how I would take it, Justin.
Hello, Miracle.
Oh, good morning. What's your name and where are you calling from?
I remain Ambrose. I live in Norway. Thank God for another day.
Thank God for another day indeed, Ambrose. Let's get to hear from you, please, in 1 minute.
Yes, very quickly, I greet the people in the studio. To just buttress what Ibuna was saying, do you know that even apart from exporting cassava now, most of the companies here, Chinese companies, they buy cassava. They buy it beyond what any man can afford. So that's where people carry their cassava to. But interestingly, we are in a country of, according to her, demand and supply. This is a capitalist country. And I'm looking at it. Government, even the state alone, can treat the whole nation. What is government doing?
All right.
We must tell them wake up to their responsibilities. We can produce enough rice to export. We can produce enough cassava to export. And there will be surplus in this country. change it into dollars. That's the end of it. We can't continue like this. We joke too much in this country. Good morning.
Good morning. Thank you so much, Ambrose, for keeping it short and simple. Of course, we'll continue with our conversation tomorrow. All right, but I want to say thank you so much to all of you who called in. Thank you so much for those listening. Thank you so much, Ibinabo Dixon and Buki Femi Ajala. Thank you always.
Thank you for having us. Thank you.
All right, and this is a wrap on Panorama for today. Of course, like I said earlier, we'll be back tomorrow. Stay tuned. Radio Doctor is up next. I am Miracle Philip. Good morning.
To sponsor this program, call the number 0816 480 76.
With Money Master, Nigerians everywhere can now open accounts, send, collect, save, and deposit money from anywhere and to any bank with any kind of phone. We can also pay bills, buy airtime and data for ourselves and our loved ones, and so much more. Just dial *995# or download the Money Master PSP app today.
Money Master, the easy way to master your money.
Radio membership for the city of give up the money as much as possible. See your children go to Africa, and then never is no law. And yes, we can have that. If we go to one in the past, and why people gather for the day, you go past the one. If you want to pass the EMP, no one will teach you anything. I want to pass you over it, even as we read you over it. You will never radio up there for the time. So you will teach you the past. Never just have it, but the FM 917. What for you need to hear it to totally the one you do. I want to go to the After Foundation and Nigeria Media Information Program. Come in, like that. I'm going to go to
I feel that there's some sort of lack of professionalism in this because we're talking about 100 lives.
Government has also put in place a structure to make it look like what they have in mind.
How do we stop crime in the society? Because at the end of the day, if a man cannot provide for his wife anymore, he looks for other means.
This is Panorama,
Mondays through Fridays from 9:05 a.m.
On WFM 91.7 will bring you ladies from across Nigeria's political zones, dissecting, discussing, and disagreeing on topical issues of the day. You too can join the conversation by tweeting us at WFM 917 with the hashtag Panorama. WFM 91.7, the voice